Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie, and today we're going to start part 2 with the Ocean Tides collections by Gina's Gem Creations. And so I've got some materials here. I just pulled some beads, and very importantly, I wanted to lay them out before I get started. And the reason why is just because it makes it easier and you don't have to do it over and over again, or make any mistakes. You already know how you want it laid out. So I cut about 24 inches of chain, which is this Rolo chain. Pretty cool. I really like this chain. It's got circular chain on it, circular links. Which is perfect for a charm necklace. So I've laid out my beads, and I've got the shell bead, and I stuck a little pearl inside. I've got my starfish beads, some little pearls, some little crystals, and the gold beads. So I think this is going to be fun to play with, and it can be simplistic or as involved as you want it to be. That's up to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my clasp out of the way. So this time, instead, I'm going to use my flat pliers because I think that might work better for what I'm trying to do. And of course, I also need my super duper glasses because why not? Helps me to see. Okay. And excuse my fingernail polish. It doesn't last long sometimes, but I don't care. Okay, so I'm going to put the jump ring on and my clasp, and then you'll see that it's open here, and I'm just going to take my flat nose pliers and squeeze it shut. So you want it even here, and you can take your finger and feel it. If it is a little bit rough, you can take your needle nose pliers and just push it together a little bit. Do it very gently, and that'll help to just even everything up. And I'm going to put another one on the other side. Seems the flat nose make it a little bit easier just because you have a little bit more room to close the clasp with, since it is a little bit wider. So that seems to be working a little bit better for me. So I'm going to squeeze that together. Okay, and it's going to be uneven at the top, so I'm going to gently push the pieces together and use my finger just to make sure everything is smooth. All right, I'm happy with that. Okay. I'm going to close this up, and now I want to find my center. So I'm just going to pull this, and so my center is going to be about that loop. I think that'll be good. I also have a few head pins. Some of them are kind of bent, but I can straighten those up. That's not a problem. I've got my jump rings and then all of my pieces here. And I'm going to start with the center because that's what I like the best. And looks like I had a piece of wire on there, so I'm going to cut that off just to trim it off. Okay, so I won't need that little jump ring that's on the end. Okay, so I've got some 20 gauge gold wire that I'm going to use to make an eye pin with. So about 3 inches is good. I don't need too much, but I like the stiffness of it because, then I only have to make one loop and I don't have to worry about wrapping too much because that can take a lot of time. Alright, so I've got my little wire straighteners, and instead of pulling it, I'm just going to squeeze and run up the wire. So I want it fairly straight. Doesn't have to be perfect, but as good as I can get it. I'll be happy with it. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fill the edge if it has any burrs on it, which I'm sure one edge will. So this one's fairly smooth. So I'm going to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to start right here, about at the mark I usually use, and I'm just going to loop it around until it touches. Then I'm just going to use my pliers and pull it back, and that way, you know, the wire is going to be kind of going up through the center here. So I like that. I'm going to flatten it with my pliers, and then I'm going to pull this back just like I would a jump ring, and I'm going to attach my clasp. And I want my clasp basically for the opening or the hinges to be on this side, and this part is going to go front to back. So I'm going to close it up this way, and you can double check your piece, you know, just to make sure everything is laying right. If not, you know, you have a chance to correct it. Okay, so my hinges are on this side. It opens up, and just to be cute, I stuck a little pearl in it just for fun. Okay, so now I'm going to add my pearl. Just like so. And then I like to take my thumb and just kind of put it in between the bead and the wire, and I like to trim about here. You can do what feels best for you, but you know, I just have that little sweet spot on my finger, on my thumb, that I like to use. Okay, and then so this is going to go this way, and then the chain looks like it's going this way, so I'm going to do this loop from front to back as well. So I'm going to run it up, and you can run it up a little bit more because you can always adjust if needed, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spin it around until it touches the wire, just like so. And then I'm going to take my thumbnail and just kind of brace it and pull it back so it's even. And you can see there's a little bit of a gap there, so I'm just going to run, you know, make it a little bit smaller on the pliers, and then just bring it together. Alright, then I'm going to flatten it out. And, alright, so even if it's not perfectly even, I'm not too good with two pair of pliers, so I'm just going to take my thumbnail and then just kind of hold it with my finger and make sure that both of these loops line up. So you might have to work with it a little bit. I'm going to try to do it with two. So I'm going to hold it with this one and then straighten that one up just so they line up. All right, that's perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to open this loop up. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to add a jump ring. Reason is because I want it to be a little bit fluid. You don't want it to get stiff or catch. And usually if you put a jump ring in, it's not going to catch. So in that case, I'm just going to put it in the necklace. Just like so. Snap that together and make sure that's even. And that looks good. Okay. then the next thing I'm going to do, now even if that's side to side a little bit, actually, I mean, you can turn this and I could actually adjust this correctly. So looks like that's going to go front to back, so I'll do that side to side. So I'm going to turn this one on the bottom front to back just to make sure that it lays evenly. Okay, so I have to adjust just a little bit, but I'm definitely good with it. I'm going to close that ring just a little bit. All right, I'm satisfied with that. Okay, next I'm going to take a regular head pin. This is a 20 gauge. Personally, I like them thicker just because it's easier to make a single loop and, you know, it doesn't come out. You can use the thinner ones in the 24 gauge, but you do have to loop and then wrap the edges just to make sure, you know, that the loop will hold. So I'm just kind of straightening that up the best I can. And adding my beads. So I'm going to do the little blue crystal bead, then a gold bead, and then the white crystal bead. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and then I'm going to feel it with my thumb here where I want it, and I'm going to trim. So basically, I'm leaving maybe half an inch, just under. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start my loop. And pull it back with my thumb. Now, like I said, if your loop is too big and you got it too far up, bring it in some. It's not going to hurt it. All you want to do is to be able to, you know, fully close that loop. So that's all you want to make sure of. So, yeah, you can mess with it a little bit. It's not always going to be perfect. But as long as it's nice and straight, it's all right. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one. And I'm going to lay out first all of my dangles in place first. I just feel that's the best way to do this. Okay, so we're going to put this one. I like these Handmade beads. I think they're kind of cool. Okay, so I'm going to trim that. And if my wire's long like that when I trim it, I usually save it, you know, to make an eye pin out of it. Doesn't hurt anything. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm bringing it in just a little bit to make it rounder. As long as it meets here and there are no gaps, it's going to work out fine. Okay, and so it's a little bit skewed, so I'm just going to take my thumb as a brace and thumbnail and do it like that. So those will be the next ones I put on. Now I'm going to make sure I have a long head pin because this one's kind of long, so I'm going to straighten her out. And I always get my findings at not on that video, but you know where I get them from. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add the pearl. And the good thing is the head pin will you know, go to the end of the pearl and it'll hold on there nicely. Just the starfish kind of has a big hole in it, so, you know, I don't want to risk the head pin going through it. All right, that's about as perfect as they get. So I'm going to cut my wire. And always put my finger on top, just like this, just to keep it from, you know, flying, just for safety reasons. Okay, and so this I'm going to go basically front to back, and I guess maybe it is better to start with a smaller loop and then I could open it up if I need to, but so I'm just positioning that and making sure that loop closes. There we go. Okay. So on this kind of piece too, the loop kind of, you know, can go into the bead sometimes. Just depends on how you position it. And that's a lot of the reason why I use jump rings to join them too, because they're, you know, the holes can vary on these sometimes. All right, look at my pliers. It's coming apart. Need to glue those. Okay. So now I'm going to have to bend that one a little bit. And then I'm just kind of just going up and down with the pliers and bringing it up to straighten it. Doesn't work if you try to do the, you know, drag it, just because this wire is so thick. Okay, find the hole. Do the top and that one. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna find my sweet spot with my finger. Trim. Now, when it's single, you know, like single like this, it doesn't matter when you're turning it to go front or back, because it can be turned side to side, you know, to mount it, so it's not a big deal. Okay, but what is a big deal is just to make sure that the end lines up on the wire so that they meet without a gap. Okay, now I'm going to straighten out my wire just to make it look good. Only got a couple more. So the pearls actually have a loop on them already, so I just need to attach those with a jump ring, so that's going to make my life easier. Okay, and then, oops, that's a piece of wire. Okay. So a little more straightening, and you can turn it and whatever you need to do to just get it as straight as you can. All right, and then I'm going to go up, up, up. Okay, so I like these beads. It looks like they have bead caps on the end. All right, so find my sweet spot and trim. And now turn it till it meets, And if you need to make it a little bit bigger, I take my thumbnail and good with that. And I'm going to put those right in between these. And the last one, and this head pin's straight enough. Okay, and my sweet spot. And turn it till it meets. If you got to make it a little bit bigger, it's okay. That's good right there. All right. So I'll straighten that up, and then I do need to straighten up that loop just a little bit and pull it back just so it looks nice and straight. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so the rest of it is just simply jump rings. So got a jump ring here. I'm gonna put this on, and then in between the loops I'm gonna count 3. So I'm gonna have 3 loops in between. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna put it inside the 4th one. I just think that would be good spacing. And of course, if you have to pick it up to see it, it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna flatten my jump ring. Okay, and sometimes you have to push it together just a hair. Do it gently every time though, because if you don't, it's just, you know, gonna bend on you, and you don't want to warp it. And of course I'm gonna take, oops, sorry about the shaking. I'm gonna take these and just make sure everything's even here. Okay, and I'm just gonna continue up this side. Okay, next jump ring. 1 pliers, and I'm gonna put the starfish on. I think these starfish are adorable. They're made of porcelain, and you know, so they're a little bit delicate, but isn't this gonna be cute beach wear? I just love it. Okay, so I'm gonna skip 3 and then put it in the next one, as long as I can get through all the loops and not drop them out. So 1, all right, 1, 2, 3, and here. Okay, got it. And so the trick is hold that jump ring. And if you're handy with 2 pair of pliers, you can do it that way. But I can only control 1 pair of pliers in my hand. Okay, let me make sure I got that in the right one. Yep, I did. Okay. All right, next step. Going to put a jump ring through here. Then I guess I'm going to pick the necklace up and just count. So got 1, 2, 3, and a loop right here. Yay. Push that together. Oh, that went without a hitch. Okay. It's so cute. Okay, I'm going to add my last jump ring here. So I'm going to put it through the pearl. I love that they have little mounts on them. Okay, then I'm just skip 3 and put it up through this one. Hold everything in place and squeeze. Okay, that went well too. Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've got one side done, and so I'm going to finish up with this side. So that one goes, and then let's see, jump ring is there, so 1, 2, 3, and let's see, up through this jump ring. Okay. Oops. Okay. Squeeze it together. Practice makes perfect. Okay. Back to my other starfish. And 1, 2, 3. And squeeze. Oh, my jump rings don't always go together perfectly, but I'm finding that with the wide pliers it seems to go a lot better overall. Okay. Going through this one. Then 1, 2, 3, and 1. Squeeze together. Alright, and last but not least, my cute little pearls. This would be a perfect necklace with jeans and a white t-shirt. Or like a little white sundress. So pretty. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. Okay. So, I'll lay that out so you can see it. And we have the cutest little shell necklace. Okay. Alright, well stay tuned. I still have another bracelet to make, and I'll make that soon. So this is part 2 of the series, and stay tuned for part 3. Make creativity be your guide. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. Make creativity be your guide.